7 forgotten teachings of Paul every Christian should know. What if the answers you've been praying for were hidden in the words Paul already spoke? What if the clarity your heart has been searching for, the peace your mind has been begging for, and the direction your spirit desperately needs were already written long before you knew you needed them? Because sometimes God doesn't send a new message. He reminds you of an old one. And when it comes to Paul, there are teachings buried in his letters, teachings we quote, admire, and preach, but somehow we forgot to live them. Today we go back, not to Paul the apostle in chains, not to Paul the missionary traveling through storms, but to Paul the teacher, whose words still shake the foundations of our faith, if only we slow down long enough to hear them again. Trust me, if you stay with me through this, you might find the very thing your spirit has been crying out for. Stay till the end, because the 7 forgotten teachings of Paul may be the one God has been trying to get your attention with. This is Bonded Truth, where we reveal the parts of the Bible most skip. Make sure to like, subscribe, and click the bell icon to stay rooted in sound biblical truth. Let's begin. The first forgotten teaching of Paul. Strength isn't the absence of weakness, it's the presence of grace. 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 9. My grace is sufficient for thee, for my strength is made perfect in weakness.
Paul never hid his weakness. He said, I will boast in my weakness. Why? Because weakness is not a disadvantage. It's an invitation for God to show His power. Paul prayed 3 times for his thorn to be removed. Nothing changed. God's answer? Not deliverance, but revelation. His grace is enough. Strength doesn't come from removing the thorn. Strength comes from God filling the space it created. The second forgotten teaching of Paul. Your mind is a battleground, and you must fight back. 2 Corinthians 10:5. Casting down imaginations, and every high thing that exalteth itself against the knowledge of God, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Christ. The fiercest battles Paul fought weren't in prisons or streets. They were in the mind. Your life cannot rise higher than your thoughts. Your spirit cannot thrive if your mind is defeated. Paul calls thoughts strongholds and tells us, take every thought captive. Victory begins here, confronting lies, replacing fear with truth, renewing the mind. The third forgotten teaching of Paul. Love without self-sacrifice is not love. It's convenience. 1 Corinthians 13:2. Though I have all faith so that I could remove mountains and have not charity, I am nothing. Love isn't feelings. It isn't butterflies. It isn't chemistry. Love is sacrifice. Patience when irritation is easier. Kindness when anger tempts. Humility when pride rises.
Forgiveness when revenge calls. Faith without love is nothing. Prayer without compassion is empty. Paul reminds us, love is what you give, even when it hurts, even if unseen. The fourth forgotten teaching of Paul. Endurance is faith in motion. 2 Corinthians 4:8 and 9. We are troubled on every side, yet not distressed. We are perplexed, but not in despair. Persecuted, but not forsaken. Cast down, but not destroyed. Endurance isn't ignoring pain, it's trusting God in the storm. Troubled, but not distressed. Persecuted, but not forsaken. Cast down, but not destroyed. Faith in motion is holding on when you want to let go. Paul shows us endurance isn't passive, it's active trust. The fifth forgotten teaching of Paul: your calling is not optional, it's non-negotiable. Romans 11:29. For the gifts and calling of God are without repentance. Paul didn't treat his mission as a hobby. It was a divine assignment. Your calling is alive in you, whether you embrace it or ignore it. Neglect it, and the world misses what only you can give. Answer it, and you step into God's plan. The sixth forgotten teaching of Paul: contentment is the secret to spiritual freedom. Philippians 4:11. I have learned in whatsoever state I am, therewith to be content. Paul endured hunger, betrayal, imprisonment, and rejection. Yet he wrote, not I'll be content when life is easy, not I'll be happy if circumstances change. Contentment is learning to rest in God no matter the storm. It's freedom from comparison, envy, and frustration.
The seventh forgotten teaching of Paul: resurrection power is alive in you. Romans 8:11. If the spirit of him that raised Jesus from the dead dwell in you, he that raised Christ from the dead shall also quicken your mortal bodies by his Spirit that dwelleth in you. Resurrection isn't just past or future, it's now. The Spirit that raised Jesus is in you. Your purpose, your calling, your broken places, all can be raised to life. You are not powerless. You are not alone. You are not weak. 7 teachings, 7 truths. Paul didn't leave these teachings for decoration. He left them for transformation. If your faith feels weak, if your breakthrough seems delayed, remember, the same God who strengthened Paul is strengthening you today. Pause, reflect, act. Let this be your moment of surrender. If this message spoke to your spirit, don't just scroll. Declare it in the comments. Share it with someone who needs to remember that God's power, peace, and calling are alive now. You don't need a perfect life to follow Christ. You just need a willing heart. And the God who strengthened Paul will strengthen you too.